projected to hit over 6 figures by the end of this month in terms of revenue. If you want to learn more on how I was able to do this, then stick around. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Natasha. Welcome to my channel, Subscribers to Clients, where we talk all things business, finance, and personal growth. The focus of my channel is to provide small or aspiring YouTubers with tips, information, and secrets on how you can ultimately scale your YouTube channel to over 6 figures in revenue using any niche. And in this video, I really want to focus on discussing a little bit more about my YouTube channel as well as my journey from where I first started in the beginning of 2022 up until where I am today. So when I first started my YouTube channel, I will be very transparent in the fact that I had no idea what the real potential was in regards to where I'm ultimately standing to this day. I knew that my niche in terms of my main channel, the business recruiter, was very specialized. Not everyone is going on YouTube and searching how do you start a recruiting or staffing agency, but I knew that that's where I wanted to focus my time on YouTube because that's where my passion was. I had worked in corporate America on the recruiting side for a while and then ultimately started my own recruiting agency. With starting my own recruiting agency, I realized that there were a lot of individuals out there who wanted to do the same and ultimately just wanted some information on how they could go about doing it. Then came the idea that creating long-form content on YouTube would give me the opportunity to really be able to provide value to that target audience. Well, over a year later, I am currently sitting at over 3,000 subscribers and projected to have over $100,000 in revenue. However, that is not from your traditional sense in terms of YouTube monetization. In fact, I only recently just got monetized on YouTube towards the end of July. So we are now in August at this point of 2023. So I've only been monetized now for a few weeks. So with that being stated, you're probably wondering, well, how are you able then to hit over $100,000 in projected revenue? Well, this actually came from me taking my YouTube channel and really using it as my funnel to be able to create a program that has allowed individuals one-on-one as well as group access to me to be able to provide them with a more formalized way in terms of teaching them how to start their own recruiting and staffing agencies. This has ultimately led to me having the opportunity to, one, work within my passion, which really was to be able to provide educational information in regards to starting a recruiting or staffing agency, but two, to realize a significant portion of income that ultimately has not come from the traditional sense of YouTube. And I think that this is important because a lot of times that's what the goal is that most YouTubers have in mind when they first get started, is that you'll be able to generate all this revenue from YouTube monetization through Google AdSense. However, that's not necessarily the journey for majority of the YouTubers who actually do get started. Now, I'm not saying that there's not some success stories out there and maybe some even overnight success stories, but I'm saying for the average YouTuber, very similar to myself, that in order for you to get to that level of income, if you ever even get there at all, it's gonna take some time. And this is why it's extremely important that you actually think outside of the box in terms of how you can leverage your YouTube channel in order to be able to generate 6 figures or multiple 6 figures. And when I first started my YouTube, I'll be very transparent in the fact that I was not very good at it at all. In fact, if you actually go ahead and take a look at my very first YouTube video, I'll go ahead and show the thumbnail here for that video for my main page. You can see that the colors were really off. It was not engaging. It was just one of those things where I was in the beginning stages. I didn't necessarily know exactly, what was the best things to put within my thumbnail. And even if you take a look at the video, and I'll play a snip of it really quickly just so you can see. So recruiting is extremely lucrative. When it comes to how you get paid in recruiting, most times, typically, if it's a direct hire placement, which we'll get into in later videos, your pay is based off of the first year's salary of a candidate. Okay, I know that was really quick, but as you can tell, I was not even good at recording YouTube videos. I wasn't looking directly at the camera. My video was actually the wrong way. So it wasn't horizontal, it was vertical, which is a no-no on YouTube. The audio was terrible. That's probably the worst audio I've had out of all of the YouTube videos that I've recorded, as well as I was extremely nervous. And honestly, when I look back on this video, I think I can actually tell that my nervousness was coming through. But if you take a look at my current YouTube video, or at least one of my current YouTube videos and my second most viewed video. You'll see that the thumbnail is actually more engaging, the colors really draw you in, as well as in terms of how I actually recorded this video, it's completely different. So let's take a quick look at a snip here. Another avenue that you can take that is just as lucrative is starting a staffing agency. Now you're probably wondering, what are the biggest differences between a recruiting agency and a staffing agency? Okay, so as you can see, the audio is way better. I'm definitely more confident in this video in terms of talking through the content. The video is actually the correct way, so it is horizontal, how it's supposed to be on YouTube. And I'm also looking directly at the camera. It's almost night and day. And when I look back on this, it makes me so proud in terms of how far that I've come, because I realized that if I never got started at all in terms of my YouTube channel, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would probably still be recording the same exact video that I did in the very beginning and not evolving. And I think that that's the most important thing about YouTube, is that you just have to get started. If you wait for perfection and wait to the moment where you feel that you have all of your ducks in a row in order to be able to start your YouTube channel, you are never going to start. And ultimately, this is one of those things where if you really want to be successful, you just need to get the content out there. And ultimately, you also need to get the content out there for yourself so that you can become more comfortable with what that process looks like in regards to sitting in front of a camera, being confident, looking directly at the camera, making sure your audio is there, like all of those little things that really go into making a video what it is. You have to go through that process, and you have to go through it multiple times until you get to a point where you actually feel that it's actually good. And I think that that's actually why this was one of my most viewed videos, is because of the fact that I checked the box in terms of all of those things that I would consider myself to have done wrong in that very first video, but also I didn't have a lot of fancy editing in this video either. And if you're curious just to go back and take a look at this full video, I'll be sure to link it down below in the description box. But I literally talked for about 6 or 7 minutes straight in this video and did not have any fancy editing or pictures or other videos or other clips that were coming in. It was purely educational. And I think that's another important factor that you have to keep in mind as well. If you are strictly going to focus on educational content in terms of what you're going to put out there from a YouTube perspective, you need to make sure that that content is meaty enough and is actually directly correlated with what your target audience wants. I will say that this was probably one of the first videos that I actually put out there where I was talking about the staffing agency portion of the recruiting industry. Before then, most of my videos really center around recruiting agencies, which if you want to learn more about recruiting agencies and staffing agencies, then be sure to check out my TBR channel where I have a full breakdown of what that is. But for my audience at that point, they had never seen me do a video on staffing, which I think is part of the reason too why that video did so well. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, then be sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button as well as that bell so that you can get notified of all of my videos that do drop weekly. And I think the other important aspect to keep in mind as well, because I did mention that I recently did get monetized on YouTube after going through the full monetization process, is that last video that I just showed you has actually made me the most money so far on YouTube. Now granted, it isn't anything life-changing from a money perspective, like I've made $30.77 off of that video, but I'm happy about that. If I never got monetized on YouTube, then I would still be getting $0 from it. So the fact that I was able to make $30 so far off of that video, and it's the video that is currently generating the most income for me from a YouTube monetization perspective, I actually think is really cool. And I think that it just shows the power of a really good video and really taking your time to be intentional about your content. But ultimately, you can't do any of those things if you don't actually get started. Well, I hope that you found this video to be helpful. If you did, then be sure to give me a thumbs up, as well as if you are not in my Facebook group, Subscribers to Clients, I encourage you to join. I'll be sure to leave that link down below in the description box. We're in there talking all things YouTube and being able to start your channel. So if you want a community that's really going to be able to give you a lot of tips and tricks and information in regards to how you can be successful on this YouTube journey, then I would highly encourage that you join. As well as if you're looking to start your own program related to your niche, because what I've been able to do can be done with any niche out there, then I'll be sure to leave the link down below to my resource that I've put together just for those smaller or inspiring YouTubers who really want to get started with their own program. So I'll be sure to leave that link down below as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.